Hi guys, thank you for viewing another of my coaching video. I am Coach Adrien. Like I have always said before, my clinics are designed to help you make everyday choices that will make you happy. In this clinic, we discuss our right to freedom of worship. Our issue is the often repeated frustration, get out of my way. What are the underlying messages in these words of caution? I can deduce three messages. One, we are inclined to get people to think, to do things, and to make choices that are in keeping with our views. When we attempt to pressure people to conform, some resist and demand that they be left alone. That's one message I get from it. The second message, in matters of conscience, in matters of faith, and in matters of salvation, people want to be guided by God and not by man. And finally, there seem to be some unexplained motivation and comfort that make people feel happy when they can enjoy a personal intimacy with God. This is why in this coaching clinic, we discuss the principle of spiritual connection or worship. Now, the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic has radically changed the way we do things. The lockdowns have changed the way we relate in the home, in the community, in business, in school, and in church. In fact, the new normal of social distancing has left us all over the world with thousands of abandoned offices and buildings. With the number of partially opened or closed church buildings, many people brought up on regular church attendance for their spiritual growth feel separated from God. It is unfortunate that millions have been taught to believe, one, that where there is no corporate fellowship, there is no communication with God. And two, no church attendance means no blessing, and no assembling, corporate assembling, means no salvation. Jesus told the woman of Samaria at Jacob's well that worship is between you and God. The woman had just told Jesus Christ in the conversation that we Samaritans say we must worship in the mountain. That's the right place to worship. And the Jews say the right place to worship is Jerusalem. Jesus Christ replied, and I'm quoting John chapter 4, verses 21 through 23, where you'll get the detail. In verse 21, Jesus Christ replied, and I quote, "Woman, believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father, neither on this mountain or in Jerusalem." Verse 23, "A time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For they are the kind of worshipers that the Father seeks." Read John chapter 4 so you can get the detail. So what is it that the Bible is teaching? What is it that Jesus himself is teaching? One, true worshippers are in a one-on-one contact or relationship with God. As a child of God, we are always in an intimate relationship with him. That is worship. Two, true worship is not worshiping in a designated place per se, in a particular building or in a venue. People of all ethnicity, all color, all classes must worship God in spirit and in truth. That's what Jesus Christ taught. While corporate fellowship is good for spiritual growth, what about knowing that true worship is between the individual and God that makes one happy? I can think of just two reasons. One, knowing that salvation is personal and that acceptable worship is relating to God in a true and sincere heart, the mind, gives us the assurance of God's favor. And that is all that really matters. The assurance of God's favor. And two, being in an ongoing relationship with God and with Jesus Christ, whether alone, at work, at home, on a business trip, or on an assignment, when we are separated from loved ones, friends, co-workers, fellow believers, our isolation, on the contrary, deepens our intimacy with God and with our Savior, Jesus Christ. So the Bible teaches that worship is our moment by moment walk with God. Each one of us must give a personal account to God. That's what Paul taught in Romans chapter 14 and verse 12. We always end our clinic by reminding ourselves of the two principles that guide us in making good choices and decisions that make us happy. The first one is from William Penn. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. Right is right, even if no one is doing it. And the second one is like unto it. Truth is truth, even if no one believes it. And a lie is a lie, even if everyone believes it. And we always close with a word to the wise. Our word to the wise comes from the Apostle Paul himself. Apostle Paul concerning the relationship that we are to maintain with God. And I'm quoting the book of Corinthians, chapter 7 and verse 17. I quote, Paul says, each person should live as a believer in whatever situation. Now that's very, very, very important. Salvation is personal. Worship is personal. One-to-one relationship. And Paul is saying, irrespective of the nature of the situation, whether you are at home, whether you're on a business trip, whether you're on assignment, whether you are in quarantine, whether you are in isolation, whether you are under economic depression, he says each person should live as a believer in whatever situation. Thank you for viewing my video. I would love to connect with you. Let us connect via WhatsApp, 869-668-9752, or via email, peter@coachadrien.com. Now, I would like you to look out for a new video on my YouTube platform, on my Facebook page and LinkedIn on the 14th day and the 28th day of each month. Thank you for viewing. Please subscribe and like my video. God bless you.